Welcome students to the first module of Forms of Business Organization. We all are familiar with the term business, but what is actually done in a business is not known to us. This module is aimed to provide background knowledge of what business is. The term business is derived from the word busy. Thus, a business means being busy. A business is defined as an organization that is legally accepted and designed to provide goods and services for consumers. A business may also be defined as an economic activity involving the production and sale of goods and services undertaken with the motive of earning profit by satisfying human needs in society. Business is an activity which is performed with the main objective of earning profit. Business is an occupation in which people regularly engage in activities related to purchase, production, or sales of goods and services with a view to earning profit. It involves production, distribution, and exchange of goods and services to satisfy the needs of people. The modern business is consumer-oriented rather than product-oriented. The focus is on the consumer first and the product or service next. Trading, manufacturing, insurance, banking, storage, transportation, etc. are examples of business activities. Human activities can be classified into two categories: economic and non-economic. Economic activities deal with material resources and are concerned with the process of living. Non-economic activities deal with emotions. Economic activities may be further divided into three categories, namely business, profession, and employment or service. Business activity involves the allocation of scarce resources among alternative uses. Profession means an occupation that provides expertise. In employment or service, a person undertakes to work for another according to the terms of an agreement in return for a salary or wage. Business activities can also be categorized on the basis of their functions. According to this, business units can be categorized into industrial and commercial enterprises. Industry refers to the production of goods meant for consumption or for further production. Industrial enterprises are engaged in the production of goods. Commercial enterprises are engaged in trade and services. Next is the characteristics of business. First, economic activity. Business is an economic activity as it is conducted with the primary objective of earning money. It also results in generation of employment opportunities, thereby leading to growth of the economy. Second, production or purchase of goods and services. Goods and services are produced or procured by business entities so as to add value and sell them to the consumers. Goods are either manufactured by the company or procured from the supplier with the aim of selling it further to the consumer for a profit. Third, selling of goods and services. Business must involve the transfer of goods to consumers for value through selling. If the goods are required for personal consumption, then the transaction will not amount to a business activity. Next, it's a continuous process. Every business requires regularity in transactions. An isolated transaction of exchange of goods and services will not be considered as business. So, to constitute business, the dealing must be carried out on a regular basis. And next, profit motive. The basic purpose of business is to make profit from its activities. It is the blood of business which keeps the business going in the long term. Next, element of risk. Risk is involved in every business. Efforts are made to forecast future events and plan the business strategies accordingly. The factors that affect business are uncertain and so does the business opportunities, which can be floods, fall in prices, strike, market fluctuation, etc. Next, uncertain return. In business, the return is never predictable and guaranteed. That is, the amount of money which the business is going to earn is not certain. It may be possible that the business earns a huge profit or suffer heavy losses. Next, legal and lawful. In any of the business the company is engaged, it should be legal, or else it will not be considered as a business activity. Next, consumer satisfaction. The aim of business is to supply goods and services to consumers so as to satisfy their wants. As when the consumer, the final user, is satisfied, he or she will purchase the goods or services. Next, about the stakeholders of business. Stakeholder are various sections of the society that have an interest in the business and are influenced by the actions of a business. These are owners, investors, managers, employees, customers, suppliers, local community, and the society at large. Owners. The owners of an enterprise may be a sole trader or partners or shareholders of a company. In proprietary concerns, the owner himself manages the affairs of the business. In partnership firm, a partner may be acting as a managing partner while others may not take part in the management. In the case of companies, the management is separated from ownership. The management of the company is in the hands of the board of directors. Second, managers. Managers are individuals in an organization who direct the activities of others. An organization is the systematic arrangement of people brought together to accomplish some specific purpose. Managers are customarily classified as top, middle, or first line managers. Employees. Employees are people who work directly on a job or task and have no responsibility for overseeing the work of others. The labor management practices operating in any organization would determine the quality of the relationship that a business firm has with its workers. The maintenance of industrial peace is beneficial to both workers and the business enterprise. Next, marketing intermediaries and suppliers. These are persons and firms that helps in distribution, selling, and providing services. Almost every business has to take help of these intermediaries. The intermediaries such as wholesalers, retailers, and distributing agents perform various kinds of functions to assist the business firm in promoting, selling, and distributing its goods to the final customers. Suppliers are those who provide various kinds of inputs such as raw materials and other components. Next, customers. Customers are the key to the success of a business. A business firm usually has different categories of customers like individuals, households, business firms, government, and other institutions. They may be situated locally, at the national level, or even globally. The loyalty of customers towards a product or service depends mainly upon their degree of satisfaction. In order to create and retain customers, the management has to set up systems for monitoring the customers' attitudes, behavior, and satisfaction. Then, financial institutions. For any business, financial institutions play a critical role. Financial intermediaries not only provide the finance but also create an environment for investment. Every business is dependent on financial institutions, whether it is banks or non-banking finance companies (NBFCs) for its financial needs. These financial intermediaries mobilize the savings of the public to the corporate world. Public. According to Philip Kotler, a public is any group that has an actual or potential interest in or impact on a company's ability to achieve its objectives. Thus, public could be various interest groups which have or may not have an interest in the functioning of the business, such as the media, consumer protection groups, and environmentalists. Next, we will deal with the businesses in different sectors. There is more than one way to classify business by sector. Most preferably, the economy is divided into three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary sector. This sector serves as the foundation of all business. Mining, agriculture, fishing, farming, and forestry that provides raw materials comes under this sector. In developing areas of the world, the primary sector takes up a sizable portion of the overall economy. Secondary sector. Once those raw materials have been cultivated, the secondary sector turns them into products. This sector involves manufacturing and industry. Tertiary sector. This is the business segment that provides services to customers. This sector includes retail, restaurants, hotels, and similar fields depending heavily on the goods produced by the primary and secondary sectors. This sector also includes transportation that carries manufactured goods to other tertiary businesses and then provides those products to the consumers who wants them. The primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors represents various business types and the goods they produce and sell. This represents a chain of production from extracting the raw materials, primary, through manufacturing, which is secondary, and finally servicing to the end consumers, that is tertiary. Each sector depends on others to function properly within the economy. Manufacturing sector. Manufacturing is the process of transforming materials into finished products that can be sold in the marketplace. Goods are manufactured either by machines or by hand. Manufacturing is the production of goods in large quantities after processing the raw materials into more valuable products. The location of a manufacturing industry cannot be selected randomly, as it is affected by certain factors. They are availability of raw materials, access to easy labor, availability of capital, proper supply of power, availability of market, and infrastructure. Importance of manufacturing. Agriculture forms the backbone of our economy. The manufacturing helps in modernizing agriculture. It reduces the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs. Industrial development helps in the eradication of unemployment and poverty. Export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. A country with high level of manufacturing activities becomes prosperous. Trading. Trading is a basic economic concept involving the buying and selling of goods and services with compensation paid by a buyer to seller, or the exchange of goods or services between parties. Trade can also take place within an economy between producers and consumers. International trade allows countries to expand markets for both goods and services that otherwise may not have been available to it. Trading is the basic activity of all investors or investment services. It's simply buying, selling, or exchange of assets. In financial markets, people trade securities such as shares, currencies, commodities, and derivatives. Shares are traded on a stock exchange, while commodities and equities are bought and sold on the trading floor. The general aim is to look for a profit by buying at a lower price and selling at a higher one, usually within a relatively short period of time. A trader can be anyone from an individual investor to a global institution. Trading can be done directly or via a broker. It can be done in person or over the phone. So, starting a small business is a big step for anyone to take, as it may require leaving the comfort and security of a regular job for a more uncertain financial future. Small business successes may also require a great deal of planning. The interest of the stakeholders also to be considered while starting a business for the successful running of the business. Those groups may pose a serious threat to the company. From the past few years, the entire concept of business has undergone a drastic change. It has been turned from producer-oriented activity to consumer-oriented activity. Previously, the approach is to sell what is produced, but now the approach is to produce what is demanded. The consumer is regarded as the king, and so all the activities of the business are aimed towards the satisfaction of consumers. Hope the module was informative. Let's see in the next module. Thank you.